Hi, I'm Jack, CIO of Elements.cloud. Today I'll be showing you how to take your fully mapped agent process and turning it into natural language instructions that you can then paste into your agent builder. So, again, looking at our book a vacation process, we've taken all of our fundamentals from the resources through the if statements to then do the activity in the box plus your guardrails. So for me, this is a fully mapped agent process. So what do we actually do next? How do we generate the instructions? So if we go into edit and we bring up the right hand panel and we go into changes here, you can see this generate agent details and then generate instructions. And as quick as that, the agent instructions are being generated from the visual representation of the instructions, which is your process, and it's putting it straight into your copy buffer. So we have these instructions. I'm just going to really quickly go through some of them so we can link them up to where they are in the process to give you an idea of how they work. So in previous videos, I mentioned about the if and the thens and the ors. So if request from current user to book holiday, if request from current user to book holiday, or new information added by user, there's the or, new information added by user, or updated request to book holiday, that's the other input going in, then do the activity box. Check that requested duration, date and description. Now if we look at one that's got an action, so if we look at if duration is valid, there's this one here, this line, if duration is valid, then check that the user has enough days remaining. Now, how are we doing that in the instructions? So here it is, if duration is valid, then check that the user has enough days remaining using, the using is the using of an action, one of the available actions. Now we're using this statement at the end because when you generate and when you build your actions inside your agent, you give that action an action instruction. If you're absolutely explicit in that instruction when you're building your action, then using the one of your available actions, the agent is actually smart enough to go and find the correct action depending on your if and then your then. So that's your natural language instructions generated from your visual representation of your instructions. So how do you actually get these into Agent Builder? So if we go into Agent Builder, we're inside the book a vacation topic. Classification scope, as we've already been through, and I'm going to paste the instructions in there. So as you can see, I've now got all of our natural language instructions from our process diagram inside of Agent Builder. You've got your guardrails at the top, so there's the guardrails from the process diagram, and there's a little bit of information as to how the instructions define the process for the agent to follow. We've got all of our instructions in one single payload, so one instruction. Now we're doing that because our experience of breaking down the instructions into single separate instructions is that every time the agent executes, the order of instructions when in a single payload changes every time. So for example, if you had 5 instructions, when you're running through, you're engaging with your agent, the 5th instruction could happen second the first time around, or it could happen 4th the second time around. So it randomizes if we have different instructions going into the payload. So that's your instructions inside Agent Builder. Now, building an agent is iterative, as we know. So we're going to make it, when we're testing, we're going to make changes. We might make tweaks to some of the instructions. Now, what we're basically saying here is do not go and change them in the instruction. Very easy to get lost. It's harder to test. You can end up circling. Go and change the information inside your diagram and then regenerate your instructions. Because what you're then able to do inside of Elements is it actually gives you an audit trail to see what is captured when you're generating the instructions. So we have our map here. If I go onto the changelog and I'm going to toggle Agentforce, and you can actually see every time I've generated instructions or test cases, you can see here. So back on the 17th of January, Ian Gott's generated instructions. So they are the instructions that were generated on the 17th of January. So we have a level of audit checking when we're going through and we're generating our instructions.